You're listening to She's the Business podcast.
Have you got an action that you're wanting to restart again after having a bit of a break, but you're finding that the days and the weeks are slipping by and you still haven't restarted? Well, today's episode is going to share with you what's going on, what might be preventing you from restarting, how to overcome that and address it, and absolutely 3 simple steps for you to get started so that you can start today, this week, and it's done. You're away and flying. I hope you enjoy it. Hang there because it's coming right up.
Hi, I'm your host, Jessica Osborne, and in my 23 years of business and marketing, I've built many brands to become multi-billion-dollar companies. And just in the last 10 years, I've built 2 online businesses of my own from my dining room table with 2 little babies running around at my feet. I've made it my mission to inspire you to get out of your own way and become the successful business owner who's living the lifestyle you really desire without all the hustle. This is She's the Business podcast, made by women for women. This is your weekly dose of motivation and inspiration.
So today's episode is all about restarting after a break, after a hiatus from your business, how to do that really successfully and seamlessly so that it just seems like you never took a break in the first place. Now, the reason why I thought this would be a great episode to share with you right now is because we've just entered into February, and for those of us who are down under in Australia, in New Zealand, January tends to be a bit of a write-off. The kids are on summer holiday, we're getting ready for school, we're kind of taking a little bit of a mental break after the crescendo of Christmas and New Year and everything that happened at the end of the year. It gets super busy, super hectic in our lives, and then we hit January and it's like time to just have a bit of a rest, right? For a lot of mums like myself, really their business year doesn't start until the kids are back at school, and then suddenly they've got their brain space back again. The ability to think and to focus on something for more than a few moments returns. So February is the time that people are restarting. Maybe even if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, you might have had a slower January because it's the middle of winter. It's hard to do things when it's cold and grey and not very motivating outside. So, it is a time to start thinking of restarting, refreshing. What were those things that you were doing last year that you maybe have taken a break from, that you wanted to or have on your list of like, yes, I must start doing that again? We all have them, right? Whether you took a break from your email newsletter, whether you took a break from your social media. I personally took a break from doing my weekly lives that I had started last year to go live every week on Instagram and just have a bit of a casual coffee chat on a Friday was something that I felt like it was fun and I enjoyed doing. And at the same time, on those days, I used to always jump into my business jam group and have a bit of a live Q&A session with them and, give them some insights and tips for the week. So there were both of these things. And I'd stopped because not only did we have Christmas, then we had visitors, then we went away on a camping trip, and then I got really sick, as in I couldn't even speak. I couldn't talk. I then coughed my lungs up for 2 whole weeks. And it actually wasn't possible, even if I'd wanted to. It really wasn't possible to get on a call and talk for half an hour because my body just could not cope with it. So I took a break, and today I was back again. I ripped the Band-Aid off, got back, and I thought, this whole thing of restarting is a really, it seems like such an easy thing to do. Like, just do it again, do how you were doing it before. But and I know that it's not always as easy as that, right? Once you've got out of the rhythm, once you're out of routine and you're not doing something, starting again can become this hurdle that just seems like it's too high to effectively jump over and get back into that groove of doing it again. And so let's sort of break that down for a minute. Why is there a hurdle? It feels like it should be easy. We were doing it before. We've had a break. We should be refreshed. Just press the button and start again. Yet it's not like that, is it? So one of the reasons why it can be really hard to restart is often worrying about what people are going to think and like not knowing how to restart. Like, what do I tell them about why I took a break? And, usually you might be thinking, well, I don't want to say, I'd had enough, or I needed a holiday, whatever it is. But we tend to feel like we need to explain the break. Here's the funny thing about that. Nobody has probably noticed that you took a break in the first place. We have so much going on in our lives. There's so much information in and around us. We're getting delivered emails. We've got social media feeds jam-packed. If you're not in there, no one's really noticing that you're not in there, except maybe your mum. Most of the time, most people will have no idea that you took a break in the first place. So there's no real need to make up a story or any sort of excuses as to why you took a break and tell everyone that you're back. All that does is tell people that you did take a break and bring their attention to it. So there's no real need to do that unless there's a benefit to you in telling that story. There's like why you took a break. Maybe there's a benefit and value in that story for your audience. Otherwise, it's not necessary. The thing is, we worry so much about what people think, and everybody is so wound up in their own lives, their own busyness, they're actually not thinking about it at all. And so all of that fear, that judgment is holding you back, but it's actually just created inside your own head. So we can get rid of it. We can think, hey, guess what? No one's even going to notice, so I can just start again. Then it gets into, well, okay, how do I start? And before you do, this is something that I want to share with you. The rest that you took and the space and the break is actually part of the work. It's a really important thing to do. Gives your brain time and space to think. And I always find when I'm having those times, when I have down tools, I've put the business on just absolute minimum effort happening with a few things that are going out, but everything else I've just put on hold. Those are the times that I get insights, I get bigger perspectives. My brain's able to stop focusing on the day-to-day, the minutiae that's there, and actually rise up to that 20,000-foot view and really look at the business. And so it is an important time to have, and it's something that you probably should think about intentionally having those breaks, not just because you're sick or just because you're on holiday, but actually say, I'm committing to having a break from it because it's actually really beneficial for me to do so. The funny thing is, usually there's no impact to your business in having a break, no detriment to it. And the other point that I want to bring up there is with the data. So if there's something that you're doing that you've not been loving, but you're doing because you always do it, it's in your systems, you've taken a break, and then you've noticed, hey, nothing actually happened in the business that was any different. The business didn't go down. I didn't get less referrals or less leads or less clients. If it all kind of stayed the same without you doing that activity, then it's a really good moment to sit and ask yourself, okay, well, why am I doing it? If it's not having an impact on results, what is the point of this? Why am I spending time and energy, even if it's not you, if it's your team that's doing it, doesn't matter. It's still energy and time and effort that your team could be putting into something else that is going to have an impact on results. So if there is no result there, what is the purpose of this activity or action that we're taking? Why are we doing it? What is the benefit to you? Because, that energy and effort, that is it's worth something to you. It's worth whatever it is worth in your business. Your time is always of the highest value. It's finite. Same with your team's time. So I love those breaks for that reason, because it does give you a chance before you start again to ask yourself, well, should I start again? Is this actually a really good thing for us to be doing? Should I add it back in? Or should I leave it on hold? Leave it on hold until there is a reason, a purpose, and something that is going to help it move the needle. Now, this is a great opportunity to let go of some of the stuff you've added over time that you've just kept on doing because you added it in, and at the time there was a purpose and a reason for it, but then it's become part of your business as usual. It's a time to reflect on it, to actually look at these activities and make that decision as the CEO. Is this what we should be doing or not? And you can tell that really quickly with your data, because if nothing's changed when you haven't been doing it, then you've got to ask, well, okay, well, what is it actually doing? So I love that, right? Now, when you have some activities you might be able to let go of and clear up some space to be doing other things, other ones, you know that there is a benefit to doing it. You have a plan, there's a purpose behind it, there's a reason why you're doing it, then you're wanting to restart. And generally, I'm sure you'll relate to this, it can feel really hard. Like, I always think it's like when you've stopped exercising. Maybe you stop going to the gym, or if you run or walk, it doesn't really matter what it is. If you've been doing something consistently and then you stop for whatever reason, usually sickness and holiday are the two main reasons why we stop those sort of routines. Starting again can just feel incredibly difficult. Even though we want to, even though we know it was good, even though you think, yes, I really want to get back into that routine, you've got no reason not to do it, but yet the days and the weeks kind of, eat by and you still haven't started again. So what is happening? And what I've found to be true, and this happens whether it's exercise, whether it's eating, whether it's business, whatever it is that you're wanting to get back into your old routine, is that we're thinking of the entire thing in one go, and it's feeling hard. It feels like, here's a metaphor that we used to use in back in the corporate days, it's like eating an onion. Like, you really just don't want to take a bite into an onion. Ugh. Much rather bite into an apple, something like that, right? So biting an apple, easy. Biting an onion, you're very hesitant to do it. And it's that thing, is like, well, it's a big deal, and we have a body response to this where we don't want to do it because it's easier not to do it. It's easier to stay where we are now without it in there. And even though we might love the time that we had it in, we're sort of, pulling ourselves away from it, let's say. So we're thinking about it as one big thing. And the way that I found to be the most successful in getting started is actually to break it down. So step one, commit to it. Actually say, right, it's not just something I want, but I am starting this again. Not I want to or I will, which are, always leaving you a little bit of wiggle room, that there's no actual commitment there. But I am starting this again. This is something I am doing. Give yourself a deadline. Set it in the diary. Give a date. Commit to it. Actually fully commit to it. Now, once you do that, the thing is, you're going to realize there've been so many people out there who are less qualified than you, less experienced than you, who are doing it. Why? Just because they've believed in themselves and they've committed and they're taking action. So by you committing to yourself, that is the first step. Secondly, let's believe in ourselves. Let's believe in it again. Yes, it's possible. Instead of thinking about how hard it's going to be to start, think about how great it's going to feel when you're doing it, when it's easy. Recall those times that you were already doing this and think, yeah, I loved it. Actually, it was really easy and it felt good. Focusing on that will help you get over that hurdle. But the third one, and this is sort of like my real magic tip here, break it down into micro steps. So here's how I got my husband to start running again, because he'd had a break from running. He wanted to run, but he just wasn't getting out there. And I said, hey, look, why don't you just go upstairs and put on your shoes? So instead of thinking about the run, which is one giant thing, there's multiple steps in it, breaking it down just to the first step, putting on the shoes. Now you're ready to run, right? So the next step is walking out the door. Once you've done that, then you're going to start on the path. And before you know it, you're on the path, you're running. You just change from walking to running and you're running. And then you're doing it. And yeah, it might feel a bit hard or what have you for the first one. We all know that. But it was actually just getting started that was what was stopping. Same in business. If you have taken a break from doing your social media, maybe going live, instead of thinking about the whole thing and thinking, well, I've got to post this amount of times a week, or I've got to create, you tend to think about the entire thing in one go, which makes it a really big hill to climb. Just think about the first step. What is it you need to do? So I want to go live on Instagram. When am I going to do it? I'm going to do it today. Okay, there you go. You've committed to it. You've given yourself a deadline. What's the first step? It might be sticking my phone in my phone holder and turning it on and opening Instagram. It might be brushing my hair. Whatever that is for you, take one step, then take the next one step. Before you know it, you're ready to hit that live button and away you go and you're back to it, and it's just as easy as it was before. So I hope that this has been a helpful, useful episode for you. Think about what it is in your business that you have stopped and you've got on your to-do list. It's maybe adding a little bit of stress or pressure to you right now because you're wanting to restart it, but you're just not restarting. And think about what it is that you can do. How can you commit to it? So do those steps, commit to it, set yourself that deadline, believe in yourself because, hey, you have already been doing it. There are people out there who aren't doing it, who are so amazed about everyone who is, right? And there are people out there who are doing it who have less experience, less expertise than you. So there's no reason at all why you shouldn't be doing it. Thirdly, find that micro step to just get something started. Put on your sports bra, put on your shoes, brush your hair, whatever it is that you need to do, turn on your phone. It's not hard once you break it down to a micro step. You think, yeah, I could turn on the phone, or yes, I could set it up, or sure, I could brush my hair. You've done that then. And then the next step seems easier. You're going to be there, you're going to be away and flying, and hooray, we've still got 11 months of the year left to go. So congratulations, you've restarted. Well done. Give yourself a pat on the back, give yourself a high five or a self five if it's you're literally high-fiving yourself. It's absolutely totally okay to do that, because if you're not giving yourself a high five, who is giving one to you? Think about that. Love to give yourself some appreciation, acknowledgement for taking those actions, and help your brain to think, yeah, that was a really good thing to do. I'm going to do it again. And away you go. So I'll be back next week with another really fun episode for you, and see you soon. Thank you for tuning in to She's the Business podcast.
Do you know something? There are so many people that are overcomplicating their marketing, which means that they're running on the marketing treadmill, pumping out so much content, but still not yielding those results, meaning there are no clients actually signing up. Like, what use is an audience if they're not an audience of buyers? What use is it creating great content to share if the people who are reading it have no desire to take that next step to actually working with you? Well, if any of those things are happening for you right now, then it's highly likely that you're simply missing a key in your marketing strategy. And those keys are really simple. There are just 5 of them. And it's about how you align them, put them together. That is the simplicity that makes everything work, just like clockwork, so that you have a consistent stream of what you would consider your dream clients, literally turning up in your inbox, ready to have a conversation, ready to sign up with you without you going out there to find them. So let's put an end to cold outreach. Let's put an end to searching for clients in Facebook groups. Let's put an end to just waiting around and relying on referrals to come through from other people. Because when you have that consistent stream of clients, then you're in the place of being able to choose. You've got an abundance of opportunity out there, and all we need to do is turn on the tap for your clients to find you. So I've created a brand new training, and it's called 5 Keys to Clients on Tap. So you can guess what it's about, can't you? Well, this 1-hour short training takes you through those 5 critical keys that you need to have in your business so that you do have clients on tap, and not just any old client, the ones that you most want to be working with, that are going to make you profitable, that are going to fulfill you, are going to make you feel like jumping out of bed every morning because you love your business so much. So you want in? All you need to do is head to jessicaosborne.com/TMF for the magnetic formula. So TMF, and get yourself into the next session that's running for this training. You honestly will not regret it. It is going to change your business, your life, if you've been experiencing any of those problems I mentioned before. Look forward to seeing you in there, and let's do this.